us away.
They took us away.
They carried us far beyond. The generations have strayed.
Oh, generation.
We've lost our true tradition.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when we were kings and queens.
We were kings
Oh,
and queens.
in the motherland,
In the motherland.
before slavery intervenes. Oh, I remember when we were kings and queens.
We were kings and queens.
In the motherland,
In the motherland.
not so long ago. No.
What we have to do is to stop wasting each other's time. We're not arguing against the church. We think the church should be an instrument of a people's liberation. We think everything that touches our life should be an instrument of our liberation. And anything we are part of that fails to be an instrument of our liberation should be thrown into the ash can of history. How do we explain ourselves to ourselves, and how do we explain ourselves to our children? When they read about slavery, tell them, yes, we were slaves, but look this is what we did about it. These are the circumstances. These are the people who benefited from it. We are not a people who demean ourselves in that way. But for them to know this, they have to know what kind of society produced them. Coming out of a collective society, being forced into an individual society in order to survive. And this is an assumption. You think that you must take on the traits of your oppressor, when your role is not to take on the traits of your oppressor. Your role is to prepare to destroy your oppressor. His conduct in the world disgraces everything that can be called democracy, everything that can be called Christianity. It's even a disgrace to the thing that means the most to him, capitalism. He's misconducting himself in relationship to the one thing he used to try to hold on to the world, the apparatus of exploitation. Why can't we tell our children that whosoever God is, all people have the right and the responsibility to look at God through their own imagination and address God in a language of their own creation? Why then can't we calm ourselves down, then calm them down? What happened to the big kitchens where the family used to gather, sip some coffee, some lemonade, and began to discuss matters pertaining to the family? And if it gets too delicate, send the children out to play. And when the door opened, it is settled. Our Supreme Court would have met and rendered a decision. We didn't take the matter to the oppressor, not expecting any mercy or understanding from him in the first place, we handled it within the structure of the family. What are we going to tell our children about that period in human history before the first European wore a shoe or lived in a house that had a window, and we produced enduring societies? We did not have a word for jail because no one had ever gone to one. Didn't have a word for orphanage because no one had ever thrown away children. Didn't have a word for nursing home or old people's home because no one ever threw away grandpa and grandma. If we could fashion a society that had that much humanity, what can we do for ourselves today? And how can you explain the contradiction of a people who can build the pyramids and can't maintain a candy store in Harlem? The question came up in a meeting in Senegal. Yes, it was an arrogant member. I don't even know how he got there. He was in ethnic midstream. He didn't exactly belong to us. He didn't exactly not belong to us. He was what we call Hispanic, and he said he had enough African blood to justify being there, but he had no African loyalty. You must have African loyalty. Having the blood is not enough. You have no commitment.
History is a clock that people use to tell their political and cultural time of day. It is also a compass that people use to find themselves on the map of human geography. History tells of people where they have been and what they have been, where they are and what they are. Most important, history tells a people where they still must go, what they still must be. The relationship of history to the people is the same as the relationship of a mother to her child.
Out of Egypt, kings shall rise out of her. On Ethiopia, stretch forth her hands unto Jah. On Ethiopia, stretch forth her hands unto her God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. So the first shall be the last, and the last shall be no more. Yeah, yeah. Remember great King Alpha, and our Queen Omega. Gather the remnants of Judah from the land they've been scattered upon. Yes, on Ethiopia, stretch forth her hands unto Jah. On Ethiopia, stretch forth her hands unto her God. So I'm saying aloud, yeah. God bless Ethiopia, land of my father, yes. Yes. God bless Ethiopia, land